Welcome to InventorCAM Professor. I'm Sydney, your InventorCAM Professor, with one of hundreds of online video tutorials available free at www.inventorcam.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My goal is to be your personal InventorCAM mentor, always available to show you the best ways to get to where you want to go in InventorCAM. In this session, we'll be going through our new options that we've added in our settings. We've made some changes in our settings and added some new settings as well. We've made some changes in our automatic CAM part definition, which we'll go through in a few moments. We've added a new field called stock definition. We also have now G-code simulation. We've made some additions in our tool search. We've also added some new options in our miscellaneous, and we also have a new field called spin and feed defaults. In addition, we've also added settings for iMachining as well. Now, in addition for our InventorCAM settings, we also have made changes in our part settings, which we'll go through in a few moments. In our automatic CAM part definition, we've added now the option of, besides being able to define stock by a box, we can now also define the stock automatically by a cylinder. In addition, we've also added the option of defining a fixture or a clamp, which is necessary in our turning operation. Next, we've added a new field called stock definition. In stock definition, we've added the options of defining automatically, according to specific sizes, our box offset and our cylinder offset. We've also added the option of having it according to absolute coordinates or relative to model, both in our box offsets and in our cylinder stock definition. Now, if we have it marked as the SolidCAM setting values, then the values that are in these areas over here is what you will see when you create your stock. If we have previous CAM part values, whatever the previous CAM part values were for the previous time you did the stock definition, that is exactly what you'll see inside your definition of your stock. Now, let's go now into our absolute coordinates and relative to model option. If I were to choose absolute coordinates, then what would happen is follows. If I were to have this, for example, as x plus as 200 and x minus as minus 2, and the same thing with our x plus, I'll do the same thing over here as 200 and the y minus as minus 2. I'll have my z plus at 0.5 and my z minus at minus 25. What would happen at this point would be that the stock will be automatically created according to these values, and it will be relative to the home position. This will be the actual size of the stock. If I were to use relative to model, then whatever I have in these fields over here, let's say 2 plus for the x and also 2 for the x minus. Same thing with my y plus and y minus. This will be relative to the actual model size. So if my model was, say, 100 in the x direction, then the stock will actually be 104 millimeters. 2 on the plus side and 2 on the minus side. The same thing with the rest of the values here. The same thing goes for my cylinder stock definition as well. The absolute coordinates and the relative mode. Next, we've added G-code simulation. This allows us, for those people who have VeriCut for G-code simulation, it allows us to put our G-code directly into the VeriCut and run VeriCut through InventorCAM itself, allowing us to see the simulation according to the actual G-code. In our tool search field, we've added also filters for composite tools for turning. Now, in our miscellaneous field, we've added a checkbox for simulation. If this is checked, then whenever we have Solid Verify simulation, the orientation of the part as seen in Solid Verify will be as it is on the screen before it goes into Solid Verify. If this is not checked, then whenever you use Solid Verify, it'll go to our Mac 1 Position 1 view. We've also added a new field called Spin and Feed Defaults. This allows us to have default values for our tools as we create them in our programs. So if I were to have a spin rate default of, say, 4,500 and feed X, Y, say as 1,500 and feed Z as 300, when I create a new tool, these are the values that it will get as we create those tools. In addition, we've added also a new field called iMachining. In this field, it allows us to open up our advanced cutting conditions automatically when we create our operations in iMachining. We also have a field here that will allow us to synchronize with our operation whenever we made a change with our database. Now, in addition, we've also made some changes in our part setting. If we were to go into our part settings, we've added the option of tool coolant in our part settings, which allows us to control our tool coolant in our machine or spindle as we're creating the part itself, and this is within the part settings. We've also added the option of tool change position within our CAM part settings, allowing us to control the point of where we want our tool to be changed within our part setting. For more InventorCAM Professor tutorials, please go to our website, www.inventorcam.com, and look under the tab called InventorCAM Professor. Thank you for joining us on InventorCAM Professor. Take care and have a nice day.